Here's another one, like different perspectives, different angles. This is what Sky Pirate was talking about, how the lens that you use will distort how things are shaped. So here, since I'm from the bottom, this is wider and it slowly gets smaller. But that's the angle we wanted. So what?
It's very appropriate for that character.
Yeah, it's appropriate for that character because that character in the video game has like, you know, it's like all forward and, you know, it slowly gets smaller.
Coins of doom!
Yeah, so that actually is so again, use the lenses that you have at your position, your disposal, and use them in a way to get the effects that you need for the characters you're going to take.
Even certain angles will make people look taller.
Oh yeah, different angles, different shots, and this is again what Sky Pirate was talking about. Huge heads, teeny legs. And again, that might be the effect that you want to go for. The lenses will let you do that depending on what position you're in. 2000. Oh, something as simple as somebody standing there, like just doing this, can suddenly look a lot more interesting just based off of the angle that is done. Like here you would have the hand all super crazy huge, whereas the back is like smaller, and all he's doing is just standing like this, like just very normal. So again, position your camera in a way to where you will get interesting angles. What else do we have? Am I allowed to show your pictures?
Yeah,
okay. Hold on. Everybody. I want you to direct your attention. Stand.
At her.
She won Best in Class at the cosplay contest. So she is epic. She is amazing. And I'm going to like...
covered in feathers.
She was covered in feathers. It was so great. So I'm going to show some of her pictures. So again, this is Kaikis. Again, the angle that he was talking about where it's larger at the bottom and it slowly gets smaller. But doing something like that in a photograph like this has the appearance of like that whole like I'm on a mission, a journey on...
Hero.
Yeah, very manly. Which is amazing.
Not to mention, that's also a good example of the, you don't always have to look at the camera pose.
Exactly.
And the head tilt.
And the head tilt. Exactly. The manly head tilt. Again, the head tilt. Let's see. God, you're so gorgeous. Okay, then here's that one we were talking about perspective, where you can have your people like in different shapes, different sizes, all that other stuff. So huge leg, small body, but with this position that actually works. She's actually on a table. We just Photoshop rocks in there. And again, just like basic type shots. This is actually one where I was on the floor and she was about that high up on a table. We found a table that high. Yeah, I know. And so she was up there and I was like down here, and that's how we got that perspective angle. Here's another one of like how you can use lighting. On the computer it looks really good where there's like this beautiful little glare on the ball. And so you can have just basic poses of the characters using their props. Because she's like, I asked her like, well, what do you have with you? Because I'd already done lots of photos of her. And she's like, well, I have this. And I'm like, perfect, hold it. And she's like, and I made her stand like this for like 10 whole minutes where I'm like, I will get the glare there. And so, you know, it takes a while to get the exact shot you want. Don't be afraid to just go snap. One of those will work.
One of the more interesting shots I've ever had taken of me, there's one of the best shots I've ever had, the original of it, and it got lost. But the character attacks with bubbles, and what we did is we took a bubble gun and put it behind the camera, just in front of the camera. And at the right, and just before he would take the picture, he'd fire up, he'd use bubbles, and it created this amazing shot where the bubbles were all in focus and I'm in the background, and there's like light shadow over me. You can barely see me through the bubbles. It's amazing.
Can I add something too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Generally, something that will work either at cons or in photo shoots is to try to steal from the movies just a little bit. Whenever you go watch a movie, you're always going to see an establishing shot to begin with. So you're going to see the environment. You're going to see the entire costume there. So you're always going to start, I was at a convention and I saw this lovely cosplayer. And that's not the end of the story. I mean, if you just take a picture of their costume like that, and the story is kind of dull. It's like, nobody decided, let's go over and chat with her. And you do a little bit of a portrait one. And then you get in even a little bit tighter and you just work on the eyes. So generally any kind of movie starts with establishing shot, then you introduce the characters, and then you get in really close to get that eye stuff that's very common in anime. Whenever they get grumpy, they get the little lines underneath and stuff like that. So you're getting in there and you're seeing the mirrored windows to their soul, which is so important in anime. So.
Again, it goes with your own. That's actually one of the things that I do almost religiously. Is I like getting in close, very close. Both when I take photographs and, which is weird because I have like a wide angle.
But when you're meeting somebody for the first time,
that
you
can
don't,
be
hey
intimidating.
there. You get as close as they're comfortable with.
Right. Which is why you have to. That's why I said, you know, talk to the person. You know, say, hey, strike a pose. You know, hold it. They're going to be a little stiff at first. When it starts off, they're going to be stiff. Even if they're striking a pose, it's like, okay, let's strike a fighting pose. They're going to be like this, where it's like you don't really have that motion to it. Seriously, if you work with that person, like 10 minutes later, all of a sudden they're a little bit more relaxed. And then like half an hour later, they're all of a sudden all like into it and stuff like that. This is just invariably inherent in the nature of people. They come off a little bit shy at first, and as they like get, unless you're like gross, but
a lot of veteran cosplayers won't.
No, in fact, they'll actually be bossy to the photographers. They're like, get one like this. No. Okay, stand over there. Get one like me like this. And, I mean, because they're used to it, you know. But whenever you start off, talk to the people, get friendly with them, be like, compliments will get you so far. Flattery will get them to just give you the best poses in the world. Be like, oh, I love your outfit. And you know, obviously if you're taking a picture of it, you obviously do, so you're not lying. You know, it's like, oh, I love your outfit, I love this about it, you know, stuff like that. Talk to them, be like, oh, thank you. And you know, like, hey, can you move your arms? Sure. And then they might be a little bit stiff, and you're like, oh, that's gorgeous, beautiful. You know, like, yeah, change your pose, you know, tell them several times, change your pose, because each pose, they'll get more and more relaxed. And your later shots are going to, they're going to be better. Just because the person doesn't look stiff anymore, they're actually going to look like they're in character, you know, that type of thing. So don't be afraid to work with the people you take pictures with, you know, talk to them. They'll love you for it. I mean, you're paying attention to them, yes.
Can I make a comment?
Go for it.
I come from a theater background. So I think that, and I think a lot of that is what you're saying, but what I keep thinking is that when you choose a character to cosplay, you should spend as much time looking at the character's personality and what they would do as you do the costume, so that you could recreate that character just like
their persona.
The more cosplay you do, the more advanced you get in your techniques. That's why I will probably never cosplay something that I have not already watched the series or played the game and fallen in love with the character, because one, my list of things I want to do from characters that I love is about 20 deep.
Yeah.
I never have ever was like, what should I cosplay? I don't know, I've got a list of 20 that I can't do right now. Like,
seriously, every cosplayer will have that waiting list.
Yeah.
It's a waiting list.
Or
wish list. A wish list,
yeah.
And again, most of it is stuff that you're familiar with.
When I have the money. When I become a master level cosplayer. Crap.
So yeah, if you're a cosplayer, always number one, we recommend know your character, like your character, you know, have some type of passion towards your character, because you're going to work a lot on this character. You spend a lot of time, money, and effort on something that most people consider frivolous, and you have to have some type of passion to back that up. So enjoy your character.
Okay, insanity helps.
Yeah, money, lots of it. Okay.